Okay.
Ready. Play.
And we are live, Tom.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, yeah. Yeah, you enjoying the first morning of the second Grand Slam of the year?
Yeah, I am enjoying bits of it. We've had obviously a couple of, if you're a Linette fan or a Maria Sakkari fan, it's obviously not been the best day of the year for you because they've both fallen already. Perhaps neither are surprising. They both had horrible first round draws, 2 seeds, probably getting the 2 worst possible opponents who are unseeded in terms of Leylah Fernandez and Mukova. So not really a surprise that both of those 2 have gone through at the expense of their seeded opponents. We now got Djere against Rublev. I will not be here for most of this stream, but I'll be around, as Tom knows. But Tom, before I do leave you, just give me some thoughts on Laslo Djere against Andrey Rublev.
I think it'll be a fun match. I know we were speaking earlier, and it was one I was keen to cover because I think it'll be a fun match. I think Rublev is the obvious favourite, but Djere has beaten decent opponents in the past. He's taken some scalps, and I think personally, I think it'll probably be Rublev in 4. I think maybe a couple of pre-match nails for Rublev. Djere maybe will nick the first set, and then Rublev will come good. So that but it'll be an entertaining match. Some long rallies, and I'm sure some plenty of winners as well.
Cool. Yeah. Do you have a soft spot for either of these 2 players?
I just like Rublev because he's off-court chatter and his personality. I just he's grown on me over the last 18 months. As I say, you see some of the stuff that the ATP puts out on social media, and he just looks like a guy who's just a fun guy to have around the tour. So I do have a wee soft spot for Rublev to answer you.
We've got a poll going on YouTube. Who's going to win between Rublev and Djere? And at the moment, it's 100% in favor of Rublev. They have got underway. I will let you be now, Tom. You will talk our audience through it. It's 15-love to Andrey Rublev, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, spot on, John. Thanks very much. All right, hi, folks who are with us. So Tom Grant here. You can see my Twitter handle at the bottom of the screen at Tom Grant Journal. As you can tell by the thick accent, if you haven't been with me before, I'm very Scottish, and there is my good friend Ghost. And yes, I'll tell you what, Ghost, you can. I'll focus on the tennis. You're saying without a Manu reference. I was going to say you can keep me updated if you want. I know this is a talking tennis chat, and I know that I think John has a soft spot for the Red Devils, but I will be focusing solely on the tennis. And if anybody wants me to update me on how the English Premier League is going with potentially Everton being relegated, you can just put it into the chat, and we can potentially have that chatter as well. But Rublev, the first 3 points of the match so far, looking very dapper. He is sporting red headband, matching red shorts with a clean white t-shirt. And Laslo Djere, he's in the opposite. He's got a kind of red orange top with white shorts and socks. So as I say, very interesting matchup we have here between the pair. Rublev, obviously heavy favourite between the 2, as he is 40-15 at the moment, and he serves into the net for that point. But it's been a fun opening morning, as John alluded to. A couple of shocks already in the ladies' side. Karen Khachanov fighting back from 2 sets to love down as Djere brings Rublev to the net. He's in a bit no man's land there, and he puts it, and it's 40-30. Not the comfortable opening service game that Rublev, the way it started, that was a poor volley there by Rublev. Got his timing all wrong, came to the net too quickly, and we'll just finish this one up before the changeover. Rublev with a forehand and then backhand by Djere, and Rublev backhand down the line, tried to hit it into the net, and we're at juice in the first game. As I say, that's 3 points in a row for the Serbian. And yeah, as I say, Karen Khachanov coming from 2 sets to love down earlier in the day, and probably the matchup of the morning so far. And yeah, sorry, just focusing on Rublev. He's done a bit of a serve rush to the net there. Wasn't a volley, but he puts it away. And let's just see. Yep. It was just a block return from the Serbian, and Rublev puts away his +1. Just a game point to Rublev, and Djere goes long from the Rublev serve on his return. And yeah, how is Simon Peggs? It's actually not bad, Ghost. It's actually not bad. That was a favourite of mine, that Star Trek film. Although certainly the first 2 films, they were good. So yeah, Newcastle in front of Stamford Bridge, and Rublev in front here in Paris. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. As I say, let's know how you're finding the first few matches of the opening day of the Clay Court Grand Slam in Roland Garros. We will be competing with. Oh, there we go. It's Everton 0, Bournemouth 0, and Newcastle in front at Stamford Bridge. Thanks, John. I'll keep an eye on things as well. We'll have You're allowed to be a fan of both sports, aren't you? You're allowed to like both. Ghost, interesting comment by Ghost here. We'll just pop it up there, Ghost. He's putting Rublev into the final of the French Open. That's an interesting one. Rublev has had won his first Masters 1000 at Monte Carlo, and that was probably like a monkey off the back. He'd been in a few finals and not put it away. Lost in Rome to Yannick Hanfmann, which was a bit of a shock in 3 sets, 6-3 in the third. And the conditions, for me, Ghost, the conditions in Rome, a wee bit slower than Madrid, and very much similar to the French Open for me. So I usually like agreeing with Ghost because he has been a good contributor, but I'm not going to agree on this one. I don't see Rublev going that far, unfortunately, for him. But as I said, if you caught the start, I am a Rublev fan. I like his chatter, his banter. Seems like a fun guy to have around the tour, and always up for a giggle. I don't see Harry Kane going to Wrexham. That's maybe, although he might be a fan of the Deadpool movies or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he might just want to work with those guys. We transgress a little bit as Laslo Djere serves an ace, serves his first ace of the match, very wide serve to put himself 40 love up. Looking into this one, a couple of stats around this tie. Rublev leads this matchup 3 love so far. You're in the Ghost State as an idiot camp. Well, fair enough. I'm just an honest guy. But I like that. Look, this is what we're here to do. We can't all be agreeing on tennis all the time. We're here to discuss, debate, disagree. But that's why we genuinely love sport and particularly tennis, because everybody has a differing opinion. I just think that Madrid Monte Carlo suits the Rublev game, the power, and maybe not so much in Paris. But let's chat in 2 weeks' time, 2 Sundays' time. We could be chatting this very thing, and you can basically show me it and just say, remember you said to me on the 28th of May, the first match, and what you saying to it now, and you can make me feel very foolish, Ghost. As we're back on serve now, it's the Rublev service game. Djere obviously squared up the match, and it's 15-love Rublev as he second serves it into the box. It's backhand to backhand, cross court right now. They're sharing a sliced backhand by Djere, and he goes wide. Maybe my heart talking more than my head. I really Rublev this one. It goes again, like I said to you earlier on. I think many Rublev has when he sees personality off the court, he's an angry man on the court, as many a tennis player are. And it's quite a contradiction when you see kind of the fun-loving, laid-back guy that he can be, and then when he's sitting there punching rackets and smacking rackets off his knee and you sometimes wonder where the fury. But we all get a bit of the red mist when we're in the heat of battle, don't we? As Rublev serves into the net on the ad serve, and second serve kicker, slowed it down, big style, goes cross court with a backhand that just loops the net. A much easier service game for Rublev as he leads 2-1 as the players sit down. As I mentioned, the action's been on, but Rublev leads this 3-0. They met 3 times last year, actually. One in Bastad in Sweden. They've met a Grand Slam at the US Open last year, which Rublev won in 5, 7-6, 6-3, 3-6, 4-6, 6-4 in the 5th. And then Astana and the hard courts again in the round of 32. Rublev, much easier time this time, 6-4, 6-3. However, Laslo Djere has won at the challenger level way back when, their first meeting actually, their second meeting in 2016 in Italy on the clay courts, mind you, and it's a point to point that out. And he won. Rublev took the first set on that occasion, 6-2, but Djere then won 2 close remaining sets, 7-5, 7-6 in the breaker in the last set. And yeah, Rublev has had a decent season again. He's up there at number 7 in the world at the moment, and he's been as high as 5, of course. But you've got to be consistent, and you've got to be consistent to continuously be in the top 10 as Andrey Rublev has. And I certainly see him getting to the second week, Ghost. And so let's see how this one goes. I could be very much mistaken. I'm more mistaken when it comes to tennis predictions than I am correct. But Rublev has reached the quarterfinals in 2 of the past 3 years. And of course, last year I was actually watching it on Eurosport first thing in the morning. This morning I was watching did a recap of 2022, and I watched the 5th set tiebreak with Marian Cilic last year. He was unlucky to lose that, but Cilic served great. What we're looking at here, first of all, no I am brew today, Ghost. I'm actually trying to do a bit of a health kick. No alcohol, decent eating. Well, I say that, I had a whole bit of Biscoff caramel cake last night. So I'm now no chocolate, no alcohol, and try and lose a bit of holiday weight because I was away holidaying in Wales last week. So yeah, health kick for me right now, Ghost. But I appreciate you. I must have made an impact on you because you can remember that I do like I am brew, or it could be the Scottish accent. Isna playing another early dose 5-setter. Did he win that? I can't see the other scores right now. I watched a bit of the start of that. It's been a good day. No chocolate. Well, as of today, like I say, I had a chocolate Biscoff caramel shortbread, and it was like £8. Sorry, I shouldn't use so much slang. And it was big, and I ate it all. I felt, I had a sugar hangover this morning, shall we say, and I was like, I can't keep on eating this amount of chocolate. So is no loss, yeah, right, okay. So like I say, that's the thing, that a key thing for a tennis fan at Grand Slams, and I'm sure you guys will agree, is how to kind of keep on top of all the games, all the matches that are going on at the same time. So I was dipping in and out of a few of them. I had Tsitsipas after he'd lost the 3rd. Watched the 4th set there. I mean, Vesely had set points to equal to take it into a 5th, but well played, Stefanos. I watched what else? I watched Karen Khachanov. I watched it from the 4th set on from that one. I watched Sakari, lose to Mukova there, and so I didn't manage to catch the Isner match. I knew that he'd lost the 1st set, and then just with other things going on, didn't manage to keep up with it. But yeah, I agree. The qualifiers in the first week, just because there's so much going on, there's a buzz about it. You're sitting in for a couple of weeks of decent tennis. As Ghost just said, the first couple of weeks. Anyone else disagree? It's maybe you prefer maybe quarter-final day. I'd say maybe quarter-final days up there with the better days of slams. You're getting 4 quality matches, often with the best players in the world facing off against each other. That was a personal favourite growing up watching tennis and knowing that quarter-final day was a special one. But again, I agree with you, Ghost. The qualities in the first week of slams, first couple of days particularly, there's a buzz about the place, there's an anticipation. But anyone else want to contribute and disagree, please let us know. So I'm just checking out a couple of things here. Okay. By the way, in all the chat of chocolate and first weeks of Grand Slams, Rublev has already broken the Djere serve. Looking pretty good early on in this one. So apologies for missing that. Ghost, as often, distracts me from his good talking tennis points. And so I'll focus now in a little bit into what's going on with the actual match we're here to talk about. But anything you guys want to comment on what's happening and how you're feeling? I agree, John. How you're feeling about the first couple of hours of the French Open? I saw somebody on Twitter today writing about the schedule, already complaining about the schedule. Somebody saying that the organisers couldn't get day 2 as wrong if they had tried. Do you guys agree? I think it's always, I agree. I'm the first one to potentially, slam organisers. I think Rome and Madrid had their faults. It's a tough time. I was listening to the ATP podcast yesterday. I think they had, who did they have? They had a guy on who was in charge of organising the Polish 250, his name is absolutely blanked right now from my mind. But it was talking about the amount and that's things you don't think about, the amount of towels you need to have for something like a 250 event. And you've got to make sure that they're clean and fresh towels, the amount of balls, rackets, water bottles, all the organisation that goes into something like a 250. Magnify that when it comes to something like the French Open. And he was talking about the laundrette could be closed on a Sunday, so how do you get the towels washed and cleaned? Stuff like that. So it's interesting. So the organisers have got a tough job. And as we focus back on the tennis, Rublev, it's 30-all. He was down 15-30 in that one, but a good winner there from him as he basically gets it back to 30-all. Rublev will be hoping for as peaceful a match, shall we say, as possible. The clay court tournaments, especially. All Grand Slams are the same, but the clay courts, especially. You've got to pace yourself in these things. It's getting through those early rounds as quickly and as efficiently as possible. As he serves at 40-30, good first serve, goes wide. Djere can only pop the ball back up high into the open court, and Rublev puts it away with a volley, and it is 4-1 to Andrey Rublev. Couple of things about Rublev as we sit during the changeover. As I mentioned earlier on, lost to Cilic last year, Tsitsipas in 2020 in the quarterfinals, that is. 3 of his last 4 losses in Paris have been 5 sets. So that just shows the competitor in the Russian player. He's come down from 2 sets to down, and that was in Roland Garros, the only time in his career he's done that. And that was to Sam Querrey in round 1 in 2020. And he has won the boys singles title here at Roland Garros. So that shows that he does love the French clay. And that might kind of, Ghost, that might, that kind of puts a spanner on what I said earlier on in terms of the conditions. it's obviously a big step up from boys singles, junior singles up to the professional tour. But yeah, I think a statement for Rublev was that win against Holger Rune. Now you may think, what you're talking about, Rune is the younger player, but there's a lot of hype around Rune. There's a lot of expectation already on Holger Rune. And again, he backed that up again with the Djokovic win in Rome. But but I thought, that many thought that the Rune would turn them over in that one, and Rublev some resolve to win that one. So I think that shows that Rublev, he's not going anywhere, and yeah, he's here to finally, I think a semi-final. I'll go with you. Okay, Ghost, I'll go with semi-final for Andrey Rublev. I want to have a look at the draw. I know that next up is for if he was to come through this, or for the winner of this, I think it's Corentin Moutet. He's facing off against fellow Frenchman. Is it Kazoo? Let me find it for you guys now. As often, what will happen is somebody will find it before me, but I think it's Moutet. It's potentially Moutet or Kazoo who's the wild card. As Djere serves 15-all, serves to the body. Good return from Rublev. He punches the air. Djere can only find the net. He's putting pressure again. And I'd said that Djere might be able to nick the first set if Rublev had any nerves. He's not showing any at all. A solid start here by Andrey Rublev. Served down the tee. It's gone wide. I'm just going to make my settings a little dark here. 2 seconds. As Djere's second serve goes wide. Rublev maybe thought it was a bit wide. It did look close, but the umpire isn't going down. Of course, no Fox 10, no Hawkeye here, no challenges. It's just your old school, where the players may ask the umpire to come down and check the mark. Controversial. I don't know what you think about that, guy. Is it time? I know that there's 2025 happening. But let us know your thoughts if you're watching. Remember, you can stay involved with Talking Tennis. Get subscribing. I'm just going to take off that last one, Ghost. It's been on for a while now. As Djere, Rublev's got a break point here, 30-40. It's a competition. The French Open often falls on the opening of the French Open often falls as Djere drop shot. Rublev makes it. A wee dink over the net, but Djere's back up to it. Great tennis by both. Entertaining. And yeah, I did say yes. I did say that. I said semi-final. I'm thinking for Rublev. I was looking for the draw, Ghost, and I think it's Moutet that potentially, Rublev could face next. I'm just trying to see if I can maybe find the draw in a wider scope to have a good look at the run. But yeah, so we're still 4-1. We're at just here. The Djere serve. Rublev's already passed up one break point. A good solid return there on the backhand from Rublev. Djere, he's finding the net a lot here. And it's now a second break point of this game for Andrey Rublev to take a 5-1 lead. Good first serve, though, by Djere. And again, he finds the net. He'll be disappointed with that, but Rublev, a second break, the insurance of a second break, and surely he'll wrap up this first set in no time as he leads 5-1. As the players, as Djere, I think he's recognising there might be an issue with his racket. We're playing with new balls here, it looks as well. Players often look to pull out the new racket when the new balls are out as well. Of course, the new balls will zip through the air a little bit quicker as Rublev's now serving for the first set. Good get. Well, so it was a down the tee serve by Andrey Rublev. It was a good get by Djere, who had blocked, returned it, and it just trickled over the net. I think Rublev was a little surprised with that. Didn't do enough with the backhand at the net, and Djere picked him off there. And so it's love 15. Good knowledge there by Ghost. So if it was Muti, Muti's still got to win the match. Always keen to say that. I think it's Kazoo, but as I watch the Rublev try and take the first set, I think in between the sets, if this does go the way of the Russian world number 7, we'll have a look at the draw, will we? And yes, it is. Yeah, Doha as Rublev 15-all. Down the tee, down again, a forehand to the corner, the right-hand corner, and he goes there again. He's wrong foots the Serbian, 30-15. He's 2 points from the first set. I was having a look at some of Djere's wins previously. He's had some decent results. He beat Kokkinakis in Calgary in a challenger recently. That was just at the start of the month. Kokkinakis, of course, beat Dan Evans today in straight sets. He's beat Borna Koric already this year. That was in Bosnia. Great return there by Djere. It hits the line. Rublev gets it, and Djere up at the net, puts it away. And he's starting to feel his way into the game now. As Laslo Djere is looking grumpy, and sometimes do you know what? I was just thinking there. I was thinking this the other night. Tennis players are the angriest people alive, aren't they? Every single one of them. You rarely get a tennis player who isn't an angry player. And I'm here. Maybe Tim Henman was Tim Henman. After a while, I pulled Tim Henman from, but he's the only player that comes to mind who was just nice. They're all angry. Ghost, I thought it was going to be closer than it was, as Rublev serves an ace to take the first set 6-1. And yes, it was a close one. No, it wasn't a close one. Sorry, I thought it was going to be a closer one between Dan Evans and Kokkinakis. But yeah, decent performance, solid performance from the Australian, and fair play. I mean, watched again the end of that, and there were some good winners by both players. Of course, Dan Evans broke serve when Kokkinakis was serving for it, and then the Australian broke straight away. So served for it at 7-5, I think it was. Just going on to Laslo Djere's some of his results. He's beat Borna Koric in Bosnia in April. He has, who else has he beaten? I mentioned he has beaten Kokkinakis. Ben Shelton, obviously not too good on the clay, but that was a 3-setter. He lost to Casper Ruud in Rome, and it was a fairly meek performance on that occasion, but he had done well to get there as well. So maybe Rublev, he's just looking in the mood. Let's be honest, he's looking in the mood. And it wouldn't be a talking tennis chat with myself on the stream if we didn't have Ghost talking about gingers. So what is he saying now? I'm so glad the Brits cooked ginger. It's hilarious. Oh, right. Are you talking about the ingredient, or are you talking about the redheaded people? Because I think I saw somebody, Sean, maybe mentioning that that Rublev and Sinner do have souls, right? Okay. Always comes back to ginger patter, as we call it in this corner of the world. In Scotland, we say patter when somebody is talking a particular way. So yeah, I agree. Shelton is mediocre in clay. I watched, actually, I think it was at the start of Roma, the Bublik Shelton match. Very, very entertaining match, to be fair, as most Alexander Bublik matches are. But yeah, I agree. I think it'll be interesting to see how he does in grass. Patter, Patter, Patter. I'm sure my fellow Scot Jack would understand if I was okay, John, not a problem. So yeah, we're starting the second set already. Djere serving at the start of the second. Only managed to get one game on the scoreboard in the first set. Okay. So yeah, sorry, just reading a couple of messages there. Thanks, John, for updating the Isner score. Another 5-setter, a few 5-setters already at the Frenches. You know, as historically we tend to get due to the makeup of the surface. It basically goes to longer rallies, tighter matches, swings in momentum. Perhaps you may disagree with that though, as Djere serves 15-30 block return. Rublev puts it down the court, cross court, forehand, misreads the bounce, but Djere finds in it again, and he'll not be happy. He'll not be happy with the way he's playing. Well, the Serbian, he's hit the net a few times there. Every time I seem to be concentrating on a point, he can only find net. And so Ghost making a Game of Thrones reference, as with talking tennis. Certainly in the streams that I've been on, we can go anywhere. We really can. What were we talking about last time? It was something utterly bizarre. Ghost, remind me where we went in our conversation last time. I'm sure it was very peculiar, and we ended up, in the realms of getting the stream taken down. But always professional here at Talking Tennis. As Rublev has a break point again early in the second. We may not be here for too long. You never know, but it's not looking good. He needs to focus. Does the Serbian? He's serving here at 30-40 down. I think something in the crowd has spooked him, and so as he goes to reload, and he makes, is that an ace? It is an ace. He catches the corner, and it's an ace for the Serbian. Saves a break point there. Yeah, I always thought that, Ghost. Always thought that the wall was effectively Hadrian's wall, wasn't it? And yeah, we were kind of known as the wildlings, the savages, shall we say? But you know what? Who cares? I'm not easily offended. Made us look really hard. Made us look like fighters and big giants. As Laslo Djere nets again, surprise, surprise. I'm going to look at a bit of statage next time the guys sit down. Rublev has his second break point of the opening game of the second set. The first set he won 6-1. Wide and long is the first serve of Djere. Rublev ready, stepped up a little bit for the second serve, as he tends to do. Box in, cross court, backhand return from Rublev. Djere can only then put the ball long. It was close. It landed at the feet of the Russian, and he has an early break at the start of the second set. As the players take a sit down, we'll maybe have a look at some of the stats to this one so far. And I'll just play you a quick video just to get this while I get some stats up, and we will have a look. Oh no, they aren't even sitting there. Of course, sorry, apologies. I mistimed where we were with the match. As the match continues, and Djere gets the early point. Love 15 on the Rublev serve, and he needs to start focusing in, finding out how to play the Rublev game. Of course, Andrey Rublev, full of power, full of brute force, and it doesn't seem like that Laslo Djere has managed to settle at all so far in his opening game of the French Open. And so far, it's been pretty standard, pretty simple stuff for Rublev, who hits a let with his second serve there. Down the court, return by Djere, cross-court backhand, clips the top of the net, doesn't go over the net. I'm trying to find stats on unforced errors by the Serbian because he's struggling to find his range. He's struggling to find a feel for the ball. The conditions are pretty decent out there. There doesn't seem to be a bit of wind there as Rublev. No, he hasn't aced there. It's went long, but it seems to be pretty decent conditions to play tennis. But Laslo Djere just hasn't been able to get a hold of the ball at all as he goes cross court with his forehand. Again, cross court up the line by Rublev. Great shot by Djere though. He hits a forehand, wrong footing the Russian into the corner down the line, and it's 15-30, and this might be the start of Djere just finding his feet. Rublev, I mean, you can tell when he is starting to think that his opponent is coming into the match. He starts to get that famous scowl on his face. He looks through his box, and it's slowly emerging as he serves second serve kicker out wide. He's tried the drop shot. It's a loopy drop shot. It looked wide to me. Doesn't matter. Djere makes it, puts it away for a winner, and he has 2 break points. His first of the match, I'm sure. And Rublev is starting to feel a little under pressure, and this is for Laslo Djere just to break back straight away. As I see the replay, the poor drop shot by Rublev was in. Good serve though, wide serve, only could be block returned by Laslo Djere, and Rublev puts the +1 away, 30-40, still facing a break point as the Russian. And we'll be hoping. Let's see, first serve down the tee. Both players going to walk towards the mark. Rublev thinks it's an ace. Djere doesn't. Umpire's down, looking at it, and she says it's in. He saves the break point with an ace. Fair play to Andrey Rublev. Clutch serving when it mattered there. Let's have a look in the Hawkeye just for purposes. Oh, that's very close. Go on, zoom in. Hi Max, sorry I missed you there. I was actually for once focusing on the tennis, and I'll say my hellos to those who have joined, Max. Again, regular, specific. Well, on the streams that I've done. I'm not going to be singing Ghost. Absolutely no chance. I don't even sing when I've had a beer. As Djere now forces a third break point here on the Rublev serve. Another strong serve there. That looked to have caught the line there, but the umpire and the line judges don't believe so. Second serve advantage. Laslo Djere. That clipped the net, so it's a second serve let. That looked long to me, but it's play on. Cross-court forehand by the Serbian. Down the line by the Serbian this time. Backhand return. Down the line this time. Backhand by the Serbian. Got by Rublev. Backhand cross-court. Just over the net. Backhand by Laslo Djere. Backhand into the corner by Rublev. It's the longest rally of the match, certainly, as they exchange clip of the net from Djere. Cross-court by Djere. Rublev, and he can only find the net. Laslo Djere breaks back straight away. His first break of the match. And that might be signs that he's slowly getting back into it and finding his footing on the clay court. So as the players tell themselves down just a little bit, let's catch up on some of the comments. Max, hey. Tom, John, and everyone. Hey, Max again. Ghost, what's he saying? Oh, no, he wasn't asking me to sing, thankfully. He was just saying, give us a Tom Jones song. Max, feel free. Rublev is rolling. Get some Russian dial. Let's go. I know Nora Jones, but she has no connection to Tom. I'm assuming Nora Jones as well, by way of Texas and India. So again, we've strayed slightly off course from the tennis, which is, happy to do so. Happy to keep the comments coming through. So we're now on to Welsh, famed Welsh singers. I was in Rill, which is known as the Blackpool of Wales, and it is it's a coastal town. Very much stuff for family shows, left, right, and centre. We cracked it with the weather. As I mentioned earlier on, I'm off the alcohol at the moment, but the missus and her family, they had a good few scoops, as we say in Scotland. But it was good just to relax, get away from it all, get away from work for a few days. But yeah, Rill, so RHYL, Rill. Not far from Wrexham, actually, Ghost. Not far from Wrexham. And I was saying that actually, I might maybe venture because my partner, she has family in Rill, so I maybe venture in the season next year, and maybe try and catch a Wrexham game because it's about half an hour to 40 minutes away from Wrexham. So I'm going to maybe try and see if I can go down and maybe catch a game next season. Maybe try and meet Ryan Reynolds, of course, as we go back to the tennis. Djere, 30 love up after just breaking the Rublev serve. He's definitely playing better now. Strong serve, pushing Rublev around the court a lot more now. It's just a inside out forehand by the Serbian into the corner. As he's 40 love up, and he seems to have flipped the second serve on its head a little bit. As Djere then serves. Good first serve. Good return by Rublev. Backhand block. Drop shot by the Serbian. Rublev read it all day long. Pokes one into the corner up the line. And it's 40-15. Well played. Rublev showing he can cover the court just as well as anyone out there. To be honest, it was a looping drop shot, not much disguise on it from the Serbian, and he paid the price as Rublev put it away, 40-15. Serve out wide by Djere. Rublev gets it, and it shows you just making sure you get the ball back into court, as Djere couldn't find his range at all there. He just got that one all wrong, and he put it wide and long, and slowly Rublev is creeping himself back into this game here. Djere still has the advantage, 40-30 with the ball in hand. And he puts it's a fault with his first serve. Second serve right into the middle. It was a slow second serve, not even a kicker though, as the players exchange backhands. And again, Djere backhand cross court, backhand to Rublev. Djere finds the net, and we are at deuce. And we could be looking at a third break of serve on the trot. And let me just have a look here. Pressure points 1 is an interesting stat they've got up there. At deuce, Djere has only won 1 of 4, which shows, that Rublev, with his experience and his power, knows when to play those big moments. Another wide serve, good serve in there by the Serbian, to be fair. And a blocked return can only go long by the Russian. And Djere will be happy to see this game out. 2 games on the trot for the first time in the match, of course. As he serves long again, first serve fault. Second serve. Rublev can only find the net. It was a kicker. It was a kicker. Well played, Laslo Djere. 2 games in the trot for the first time, and it looks like we have a physio coming out. I'm not sure who for. Anyone has got commentary? Well, it's for the Serbian. It's for Laslo Djere. It looks like something to do with a hip. And so we may be getting a medical timeout at the moment. So that will just give me a quick chance to take a breather. And you guys can enjoy this.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Yeah, guys, just make sure you are subscribing. Big things to come over the next few months from Talking Tennis, and we're going to be, getting you more content from events. So yeah, there'll be a few things over the next weeks and months. So make sure you subscribe, and if you want to get involved, make sure you drop us a wee comment. And hey, Jane, our latest person to join us. Not sure we've met yet, Jane, so good to have you. And if we have, apologies, I've forgotten about you. But no, good to have you, Max and Ghost, contributing. Currently talking about Welsh folk singers, effectively. Shirley Bassey's been mentioned, Nora Jones, Tom Jones, and Ghost, you called me out for, and I'll put in quotation marks here, Ghost is an idiot in that camp. Because Ghost earlier on, if you guys missed it, and I'll try and see if I can find the comment, Ghost earlier on was saying that he believed Rublev could go all the way to the final. And Max seems to have contradicted that somewhat by saying, not in your life. Just for the tennis, we're on a medical timeout right now. Laslo Djere currently getting treatment from the physio. But to be fair to Ghost, I'm just looking for, here we go, Ghost. This was from right at the start of the match. And he believes that Rublev could get to the final. Hello, Jane. Howdy, Jane. So Max has just said it would be a miracle if Rublev were to win in RG. But then at the same time, she's just told us that he's an underdog at the Grand Slams. So can you explain that one a little bit for us, Max? And yes, they are experts. They always are good contributors to the stream. I think Laslo Djere is going to continue. I thought I saw a look at one point from the physio up to the umpire, but he seems like he's willing to keep going. So he's walking back out into court. A brief stoppage in play there. As we go back to the tennis at 2-1 Djere. Clay can be one of the hardest, the most brutal surface in this sport that we all love. It takes its toll, but already a miss hit by Rublev on the +1, a good return straight at the Russian by Djere. And a miss hit. I saw a few of them from Stefanos Tsitsipas today in his win over Vesely. And you just wonder. And so we've got an agreeer of of the Rublev can make the final. Well, you know, it's a backhanded agreement there from Matthew De Souza. And hi, Matthew, by the way. But a little bit of a backhanded one, Ghost. So I read the first sentence and I maybe prematurely called out that we have somebody agreeing with them. In fact, I'll pull up Matthew's comment for all to see, to revel in Ghost's, you know, not embarrassment, but, you know, in the disagreement and the pushback against Ghost and his opinion. So I agree that I think Rublev can make the final. He just needs Novak, Alcaraz, and Tsitsipas not to be on the other side of the net at any point. Rublev currently struggling a little bit on his own service game here. They're on deuce, and Max has kindly enlightened us a little bit as well. Max has been telling us that his peers have reached the finals and semis of Grand Slams, while Rublev's best result in Grand Slams is reaching the quarterfinals. Yes, of course. You know, Rublev's best result in a Masters 1000 was getting to the final until a few weeks ago, and of course he showed, shall I say, easy for me to say, get my teeth out. He showed some great results, some great character to win that match. I mentioned it earlier on against Holger Rune. As the players exchange ground strokes in a rally here at Deuce, Djere clips the top of the net with a forehand cross court. Rublev gets it back, and Rublev down the line winner. And he screams out the first real show of emotion. He knows how important that is. The momentum was slowly shifting to the Serbian. But Rublev knows how important that was to win that point, to stave off the pressure of a break point. And he looks up to the heavens and screams it's advantage to the Russian. What we're thinking about ball tosses, and this was a chat I was having with a friend the other night in terms of the ball toss as Djere goes long and they level it up at 2-all. What we're thinking, do we think we should, perhaps put a limit on how many of these are? I think some of the one or two players are maybe starting to use it, trying to get that little bit extra seconds just to I've tossed the ball incorrectly here for momentum, my movement. They just get that couple of extra seconds just to, bounce the ball again, go again, serve. I noticed, Holger Rune doing it a couple of times. And, these players can just, purposely miss toss, shall we say, the ball. And it just got me thinking, should there be some sort of penalty for the ball toss movement? Should it be a fault? Should you maybe get 2 or 3 of those before you basically have to, maybe get a second toss? And so, in danger of, going down a dodgy route here, what do we think of the ball tosses in tennis? Do we think there should be any penalty for, a miss toss? Again, I could be taking us, especially with the likes of Ghost around, I could be taking us down some dangerous routes here as Djere nets again, 15-all. We're currently with serve in the second set. Both players already broken in this set. The exchange breaks early in the first set. And yeah, I think Jane did. I think she said you were right, Ghost. She said you were right. Here's the proof that we have. But I mean, this is great. This is the debate. We are talking tennis, as the name suggests. So, yeah, I mean, I'd agree with Jane as well. That I don't think he'll have too much to fear here. At the moment, it has looking like it was shifting a little bit. Looks like Rublev with that big point at 40-all on his service game in the last game. He knew how much that meant to win that point. As Djere wrong foots him, Rublev seems to be complaining to the umpire. Djere's dismissing him, saying, shut up, basically. So I think Rublev's complaining about the placement of the serve. He thinks he maybe have Yes, Ghost. I will leave that up for a while because I feel like we've been a little bit harsh on you. I think there was a bit of a pile on there, and I don't want you believing we're all against you. As JR 40-30, we're on second serve here. Or no, apologies, we're on first serve as he just clips the net, goes wide, and now we're on second serve. As I could have got away with that there. I could have just said we're on second serve, that my stream was ahead. As Rublev, backhand cross go winner. Does that catch the line? It does catch the line. A wee fist pump by Rublev. He's not complaining to the umpire now, is he? As yet, we're at juice again. Very close. Great length, great depth by the Russian. And I don't know, that one didn't look too much into me. So we're at just here 2-2 in the second set. Rublev, that one goes wide. He looks to the sky. A return goes wide, and we have advantage to Laslo Djere. And we're going to get a couple of stats for you because I like to be organised. I like to fill my listeners and my watchers with some tennis knowledge as we go along this journey we call a 5-setter or a 3-setter or a Grand Slam match. I'm talking nonsense now, am I? JR wins that game 3-2 to the Serbian, already making a better fight for it in the second set. Of course, Laslo Djere, if you didn't know, has basically he's won. Is it true? Yeah. So his career highlights. He's won the Rio title. I think that was one in 2019. Beat Felix Auger-Aliassime in the final. He's been at a career high number 27 in the world. That was in June 2019. He also won a title in Sardinia, defeating countryman Lazovic en route to his second title. And he also beat his best result probably of his career, maybe certainly of this year, was he beat world number 3 at the time, Casper Ruud, in Auckland. Arguably the highlight of his career. And Jane, just touching on this one, Jane, I am really looking forward to that match. I think obviously Fields winning at the weekend, his first ATP title. Both very fun players to watch, very combative players, like to get about the court. Davidovich Fokina loves to roll about the clay courts of Paris. I was about to say Rome. Musetti 2 sets up. I'll do a quick run through of the scores in a second. Just going to have a look and see what Twitter's saying about the Rublev match. If anyone has maybe can tell us more about the injury to Laslo Djere. Rublev currently serving. Rublev currently serving at 30 love. So we'll see how it goes. There seems to be talk on Twitter that Djere's injury might prevent him from finishing the match. I mean, he's done all right since the medical timeout, had a couple of break points. Not so in this game, as Rublev's probably having one of his most comfortable service games of the match so far. Yeah, it was. Jane agreed. As I say, one of those players feels that feels. See what I did there? Great segue, Tom. Great work there. He feels like a player that when in his career, you're going to see the schedule to tournaments, to events, and you're going to be like, I want to watch that guy. And that's very, very similar for Davidovich Fokina. So like both players, when I see Foki, as he's nicknamed, on the schedule, it was thanks Ghost. I'm certainly putting that one up. Thanks Ghost. There we go. Look, this love. This is a family. The Talking Tennis family. We're nice to each other. So yeah, he feels like a guy that in future competition I'm going to be seeking out his matches basically, because they'll be a fun watch. As Djere serves, 15 love, wrong foots, Rublev 30 love. It was an inside out forehand. Rublev was going the other way, and we're 30 love, still on serve, 3-all, as you can see by the main stream, the main banner on the stream. As Djere serves, good serve out wide, definitely made it that one. It did. Rublev, I think, was thinking about questioning it, but he's walked on to the next court. As we go for serve, 40 love, Djere. Serve, Rublev block return. Great winner by Rublev. It was a block return that brought Djere to the net. Not a great volley by the Serbian. In fact, it wasn't even a volley. And Rublev guessed it and put it cross court and took the point. As Rublev finds the net, and it's game to Djere. And it's 4-3. He's still not looking happy, Laslo Djere. Does he usually look happy on the court? What were your thoughts? You know, he looks like he's in a bad mood. And I think that will be a good one as well. I like the look of Shevchenko against Medvedev. I think, was that at the start? I always get the two. I think that might have been the start of, let me 2 seconds. I think it was at the start of Madrid. Or was it Rome? And he was a set up, of course. And Medvedev, of course, came down to win the match. And if it was obviously in Rome, he would go on to win it. But yeah, I like the look of him. I think Shevchenko should do Oscar in that one. And let me just double check something. Yeah, that was Madrid. Yeah, it was Madrid. You are correct. Yeah, Madrid, round of 32. Of course, winning 6-4 in the first set, and he looked like he could have nicked it at some points in the third and final set. And obviously with Medvedev, you know, really finding his feet this springtime on the European clay. Yeah, you're right, Ghost. Correct. I'm still not removing my brilliant segue seamless from the chat. That'll be staying up for good. As we continue with the match in progress at the moment, weightless serve, shall we say, by Rublev. Djere plays it right back to his body, and Rublev can only find the net, and it's love 15. Fault in the first set. As there'd be a great, it goes without saying, it's pretty obvious to say, but this would be a great point for for Djere to break. He would then be serving for the second set, and it would be a bit of a shock, because certainly for the first 7 games of the match, what is he doing? Rublev struck the net. The ball was begging to be put away by Djere, and he got it all wrong, put it wide. He was about to smack the net with his racket in frustration, and he quickly held back. And I've got a feeling Max has been away doing a research, doing a bit of Googling, to just type in Welsh singers. And I didn't know that either, to be fair, Max. I can't really remember, Duffy. Was she blonde? Was she a blonde lassie from the early noughties? I don't know. Sing me one of her songs. I probably know her song better than the person. I'm not great with music. Got to be honest, I'm not great with music. Give me Oasis. Oasis and a can of Carlin. And so, yeah, like I say, I'm more like Oasis, The Verve, that kind of 90s Britpop. That was my era. And I'm pretty much, Arctic Monkeys are pretty good. Going to go and see them at the end of June in Glasgow. So yeah, quite like the Arctic Monkeys, but that's my kind of scene. So when it comes to Duffy, I couldn't even tell you what she sings. So there you go. As we continue with the tennis, Djere's made a little bit of inroads on the Rublev serve. 15-30, catches the line there. Looping forehand, got that one wrong. Rublev back down the court. Djere matches it with a backhand down the line. Rublev cross court, another cross court by Rublev, and Djere tries a slice, but he can only find it at the top of the net. And yeah, we'll take that down. I've given myself a pat in the back for long enough there. Yes, Lassie. Did I say Lassie? I think I'm in a Lassie mood. Not the dog, but just in fact, not the other one. Sounds very creepy. Just to mean that I text my partner earlier on just to saying, how are you, wee Lassie? So I don't know where I'm getting that word today from. As Rublev goes wide with his first serve, tries to go around the... Oh, he got that one all wrong. So just to describe what happened there, as the Russian gets angrier and angrier, a wide serve, the right tactics, a wide serve that's block returned by Djere. Rublev then puts some cross court, which Djere then basically blocks back. It goes high, looping. Rublev needs to put it away and, basically just puts the ball out court. And as he looks to get angry, as he saves the break point again with a big serve. If you remember earlier on, he was saving break points with aces. He's done it again here. As yes, James Blunt. James Blunt. James Blunt's actually got pretty good banter. I think I follow him on Twitter. He doesn't mind taking the pee out of himself. So fair play as Djere hits a return winner on the Rublev second serve. He's focused. He's got his eye in, and he puts it down the line. He stepped up on that one, and yeah, as Rublev finds the court with a first serve, Djere smashing the forehand right now. He goes down the line. It's not enough on it as Rublev makes it back. Another forehand, and he's pushed Rublev out, and Rublev smashes the racket. He's screaming it. I don't know. I think it's his box, but Djere has broken. As I said, yes, he is an army man. He would certainly, when you want to meet him down a dark alley, James Blunt is what I would say. But on to the tennis, and Djere has broken the Rublev serve. Rublev is angry. He smashed his racket into the clay, into the red ash. And Djere now serving for the second set, much to the surprise of many. I called it 4 for Rublev at the start, but Ghost Boy Andrey may be in a little bit of a sticky wicket here. As second serve by Djere, Rublev can only find the net, and that's not going to make him any happier. A more than makeable return there. Slow second serve by the Serbian. Rublev can only limp one into the net. And here we go now. We've already seen the racket smash. He's now smashing the heel of his left shoe, sorry. I do know my left and right, trust me. As Djere tries to go down the middle with a serve. It's wide. So Rublev has a chance here on the second serve. Really interesting match now if this goes into 1-1. As Djere good down the line forehand by Rublev, and he gets the drive volley right this time. And well done to Andrey Rublev. He'll be looking to break back straight away, of course. And as I said at the start, these Grand Slams, particularly on the clay, they're marathons, and it's all about trying to get off court in the early rounds as quickly as possible. Obviously, with the win, and he'll not be happy about this going to 4. As served down the tee by Djere, cross court backhand, strong, and he wrong foots Rublev. Playing some good tennis now is the Serbian, and he'll fancy his chances. He seems to have played better since the physio has been on and sorted. I think it was a hip niggle, and he puts that one away. And yeah, so We go to good first serve wide. Rublev can only back. What a Djere doing? What is he doing? So just to let you into that, and he's not happy with himself. It was a good first serve. It was a block return by Rublev that barely made it over the net, and it was begging for Djere just to put it away. He tried to be too smart. He tried to just tap it, dink it over the net. He didn't get it right. Rublev read it. He got to it. He played it right back to Djere, and we're now at 30 all. And I wonder if that will play in his mind here. Or if you can, well, he's shown some great resolve there. He just went down the tee with an ace. Both players serving well when it matters. And could be Ghost. It could be interesting one. I always find when they complain about the shadow, and I mean, I do think it is something, but these guys play in sun. I don't. My point is, try to figure out what I'm trying to say. And my point is basically, I think when we look at it on telly, on TV, I think we'll go, that'll really have a problem with them. But I think when they're actually playing there, I'm not sure it has as much as maybe the commentators sometimes make it out to be. But I might be wrong. I might be incorrect. It's happened many times, as with his first set point, he doesn't put it away. And we're now at deuce. So my prediction is Djere doesn't put this game away. Rublev wins the set and takes it in 3. Djere gets over the line here. That'll be very interesting. But this is very important now, this deuce. We're now edge of your seat stuff for Djere fans. And that's, again, what a backhand down the line. And Rublev could only get the racket to it, but with no purchase on it. And it's a second set point for Laslo Djere. And Rublev, the angrier he gets, he needs to basically have a wee sit down. I could see Rublev maybe going off court after this one just to cool himself down if he doesn't win this, as he runs around Djere for a forehand backhand this time. Backhand cross court backhand by Djere up the line. Rublev forehand down the line. Djere cross court backhand. Rublev slice backhand forehand cross court, and Rublev, it's dropped in. Djere still in the point, backhand cross court. He's came to the net. Rublev finds the net. Djere wins the set. And Rublev is not a happy guy. And we're at 1-all, and Djere really needed to get over that line there. And we have ourselves a banana skin here, potentially. It's 1-all. And yeah, well done to Laslo Djere. And as predicted, Rublev is going off court. I think he'll take it to cool down a little bit. Give his face a little wash. Cold water on the face, and say, Andrey, you've got this, and he'll take a little break there, and we will do the same. Just to for anyone who's just joined, make sure you have a look at this and continue to.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Yes, guys, and as we wait for Andrey Rublev to return, John is kindly updating us with what's happening in the English Premier League. So are Everton out of the relegation chat right now then, obviously by winning? I don't know the scores of Leicester and Leeds. I know Leeds are playing Tottenham. So I'd assume with Everton leading, taking a shock lead, that they will be out of the relegation trouble. But let's just have a quick check for anybody while we wait for Rublev. I think he's back out, so we'll be resuming the tennis. Yes, he is. So we'll be resuming the tennis, but let's just have a quick check. So, Arsenal 4-0, Chelsea 1-0, Everton 1-0, Tottenham 2-1, and where's the Leicester score? Oh, Leicester are in. So they're all well, apart from Leeds, they're all doing not bad. So what does that mean for the Premier League table? It means that it'll be Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton, of course, already gone. So yeah, fair play Everton. One of the teams that have never been relegated from the Premier League, of course. So fair play Everton. It must be a bit of a sickener for Leicester fans, winning 2-0 at home and potentially still going down. But as with Everton and as with the Premier League, you wouldn't be shocked if Bournemouth maybe nicked an injury time at leveller. I think years ago I remember Everton leading 2-0 at Bournemouth with minutes to go, and Bournemouth won 3-2. So anything can still happen. Ghost updating us on the other tennis as well. Shevchenko breakup, and yeah, of course, I think PSG for France football. I think PSG won the league last night with a 1-1 draw at Strasbourg. Messi scoring, which is a bit ironic considering the PSG fans aren't too best pleased with wee Leo. As Djere has 15-30 on the Rublev serve right now, and Rublev just needs to get that last set out of his system. Forget about it. Live in the present, not the past. That's my motto. Not that I've got a motto. As a second serve, backhand by Rublev, backhand by Djere, and Rublev finds an end. It's 2 break points to Laslo Djere early in the third set. Of course, Djere is the world number 60. He's stepping back, way back in the court. He's experienced, and that didn't help at all, mate. Rublev read it. He went way back in the court. And Rublev served on the tee, and he's going to change his racket. I don't think he's too happy with the tension on the strings. And I will not be highlighting that message, Ghost. Is Nadal not got Barcelona named after him, Sean? It's the main show court in Barcelona, named the Rafa Nadal Court or the Rafa Nadal Stadium, something like that. As we're at just now, Rublev staving off 2 break points by Laslo Djere. As Djere goes long. Was it long? Or was it the Rublev one that was wrong? Oh, it was the Rublev one that went wrong. Sorry, not wrong. Long. We could have a 5-setter on the go here, guys. So strap yourself in. Well, I think that's what the under there serve as a good wee talking point there by Ghost about court positioning. The underarm serve, much maligned sometimes. I've watched matches where players are booed because of it. Bublik famously and Kyrgios use it purely to because the guys stand so their opponents stand so far back. And they're basically trying to put that seed of doubt in their mind. So yeah, that's what the underarm serve is kind of been the ploy for. And then Alcaraz lost in Rome because he was standing so far back and he just couldn't get up to the net. He was out drop shot by Muresan as goes watching the house class midfielder and Wales maybe was way back in the baseline. Yep, I remember, and he just couldn't really make any inroads, Max, could he? Medvedev to Alcaraz. But yeah, an interesting point you make, Ghost, and it's all part of the game these days. The modern game is basically. Oh, forgot to mention the most important part is why we're here. Laslo Djere has broken serve, as you can see. You can't see on in the moment, and it's looking like the winner of this will be facing Corentin Moutet. He's already one set to the good and 5-2 in the second set, so against Kazoo, and it's looking like right now that it's going to be Laslo Djere. Andrey Rublev in some real trouble here, especially if Djere can consolidate the early break. And this would really put paid to any of Ghost's future predictions. For anyone who has just joined us, our good friend Ghost earlier on had talked about Rublev going to the Roland Garros final. We have already discussed the merits of that prediction. And as Djere slowly moves into the lead here, it's all the while looking like Ghost's prediction is a little bit premature. But you know what? The match is still young here. We're only in set 3. We could go 5. But it's 40-15 up to consolidate and take a 2-love lead early in the third set. He certainly has, Sean. He certainly has. He went early. I think the comment was made at 4:47. The match was 8 minutes old. Not a break to be set. Not a break to be seen so far in this match. And Ghost had Rublev in the last 2. That's all I'm saying. As Rublev, pulls 1 point back, 40-30. Strong returning. Had Djere on the scramble and pushed him back. And Rublev timed his walk into the net quite well. And it is 40-30 to the Serbian. As Djere, second serve, faults with the first effort. Good second serve. Good return by Rublev down the line. Strong return. He offers a apology. I don't know if that's because it maybe clipped the net on the way down, but well read by Rublev. Again, good pressure points won by good stats, should I say. Pressure points, which is at deuce. Rublev's only won 4 of 10. Now that's a good turnaround because at one point he was 3 of 4. So yeah, it just shows you how the momentum's changed in this match a little bit. But this again, a vitally important game. It keeps Djere with the momentum. If he wins this game, he tries to go wide. He tries to then put the ball down the other end of the court, but you can only find the net with Rublev bombing it to try and make it to the ad side. And we are at deuce. Oh no, sorry, we're at Rublev with a break point, and it could be Ghost is back on the prediction wheel. As Djere serves first serve in, good forehand. Rublev on the run can only put his forehand wide of the court. He's checking out the serve from Djere. I don't think he's been too happy just by his mannerisms. I don't think the world number 7 has been too happy with the line calls, shall we say. But what player is? Every line call or every line judge and umpire is against every single player, isn't it? As Djere runs around the forehand to put one inside out. Great winner there by the Serbian. And we'll just have a look and see what is happening in the other matches in just 1 second. We'll update you. Good first serve, Laslo Djere. Backhand up the line. Both players standing in the middle of the court. It's a miss hit by Rublev. He maybe been the sun. It might have been the sun there. He did make a motion to his eyes. And Laslo Djere has consolidated the break of serve. And he leads 2-love in the third. A pretty sizable move in momentum, of course. Yeah, he's pointing to the sunlight, and yeah, it is now starting to affect the players. That puts paid to what I said earlier on, as the sun stream, shall we call, moves across court. It's now focused itself onto the ad side, as Rublev again blames the glare for his problems. Has there been an upset so far? Obviously, like Max says, Sakari, but Makova basically had beat her last year at Roland Garros, I'm sure. So it's the second year in a row for that. For me, it wasn't the biggest surprise. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Has he made that? No, Laslo Djere hasn't made that. Laslo Djere seems to be winning the majority of the points, and when that happens, you get yourself some games, as it goes without saying. And yeah, I agree, Ghost. I didn't think that one was too much of a surprise for me. She'd beaten Sakari last year. And as Djere puts a forehand slice to keep the ball in the court. Again, a forehand slice. This time doesn't make it over the net. And it's 30-15 to Rublev. Game 3, 2-0 to Laslo Djere. And let's see anything happening in the Twitter land. No, there's nothing more about the injury either. Does anyone? I don't know if the commentators have. And it's 40-15 to Andrey Rublev. Somebody's saying on Twitter that this is a Rublev collapse. Would you call this a collapse, guys? Would you say that this has been a collapse by the Russian? It'll be important to hold serve as he leads 40-15. He does seem to be hitting it better for me, as the players exchange ground strokes. A slice by Djere goes long. Rublev wins the game, and he trips back to the net. Seems like he's maybe reset a little bit here. Yeah, it's a hiccup. I think you might be right. I think he's still the favourite for me in this match, despite being a breakdown. He just needs to calm himself. Doesn't let the anger get himself too angry, too worked up. Yeah, I mean, obviously right now we're staring at a collapse. I think we've had 3 breaks of serves on the Rublev serve recently. But hey ho, as I say, for me, he's still the favourite, despite obviously trailing in the match. There was a moment in that second set where it really did look like Laslo Djere had switched on after a poor start to the match. And it's just all about whether or not Rublev can do the same. I think sometimes his own head can beat Andrey Rublev, his own belief. And yeah, I think it's I think we need to basically give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a top player. He's a top 10 player. He's a top 7 player. He's been a top 5 player, and he's a Masters 1000 winner, of course. So let's see. Let's just see where we go from here. It'll be interesting, and that's why we're watching, because I always thought this one was going to be tight. At least 4 sets, which we've got. Sun is shining, blue skies above, and yeah. Good point, Ghost. Good point indeed. As I said to you, I think often with Andrey, he can beat himself. Now, I'm not saying that take that away from Laslo Djere, but I think Rublev is guilty sometimes of beating himself and not having much belief in himself when things start to go wrong. As the umpire, I don't think agrees with it. It's basically they're checking out a mark on the court from a Djere serve, and it's went the way of the Russian. Ball was out. Hawkeye confirming it. And we're love 15 on the Djere serve, of course. The Serbian had a tough last service hold, managed to get through it in the end as the players longer rallies now, as predicted. Djere now finds a net, and it's now love 30, and we are creeping into Rublev slowly but surely coming back into this as love 30. He does look like he's dialed in a little bit more. He's calmed himself. He's sitting a little bit far back. You can see the serve going wide. He only finds the net. Second serve, Djere down the box. Good catch by Rublev. A backhand that catches the line by Rublev. Cross-court forehand. A looping backhand by Rublev. They're exchanging forehands. Forehand by Djere. Forehand down the line by Djere. Slice by Rublev. Forehand slice down the line, up in the air, and Djere smashed. Another chance for Rublev. Has he caught the line? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. Good rally that. Really, Djere should have put it away with the overhead smash. It was a tame one, wasn't it? And but yeah, Rublev basically could only find the out court with his backhand get. Still ahead in this game, 15-30. As the chat descends into chaos as usual. I'll focus on the tennis. Backhand by Rublev, backhand up the line again by Rublev, forehand by Djere. It's got a lot of topspin in that as he tries the drop shot. He makes it, and Rublev can't get it. Great tennis by both. Lovely touch by Djere. Lovely drop shot that Rublev could only get to as the ball was hitting the red clay on its second bounce. Let's have another look at that one. Yeah, the ball pretty much dropped dead. To be fair, Rublev got it, but yeah, just didn't have enough time to get it over the net. 30-all. And another netted first serve by the Serbian. Again, as I feel like I'm saying it a lot, but these games are very important for the momentum of the Serbian as he finds the court. Tries to go wide and across court again. He's wrong-footed Rublev. Rublev can get it back with a slice backhand, but he's pushing him around the court. Laslo Djere. Again, great get by Rublev, but he could only put it into the air. He took his time. He didn't rush it, and Djere puts a winner away to the 40-30. And yeah. Just a wee reminder, you guys, if you aren't already, I need to start, getting back into the tweeting about tennis a lot more. I'll do that over this fortnight, get back into the swing of things. And as mentioned earlier on, trying to do a lot more tennis action, a lot more tennis content in the weeks and months to come. So give me a follow if you can. And yeah, we can talk some tennis, even when it's not on the telly, which is very rarely, isn't it? Love the fact that tennis is on. You You can't get that with a football match, 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. You can be watching tennis. It's not something you can get with the Premier League. As Djere serves, miss it by Rublev, or was that a double fault? It was a double fault. Sometimes it's hard to decipher when you don't have the sound of commentary on, but it was a double fault there. It did look long, to be honest with you. And as I said earlier on, the winner of this, it looks like, will be facing off against Muti in round 2. Now currently 2 sets to the good against fellow Frenchman Kazoo. Great name, that guy, Kazoo. And trust me, I did go onto the ATP soundboard from the website earlier on to make sure I would say his name right, and it is Kazoo. So I will not be corrected. Okay, so I will tell you in just 1 sec. As Djere hits the top of the net, it goes long. So Max, very good question. When was it? 2021? I get my years mixed up. Sorry, I should have said Max is asking thoughts on Lorenzo Musetti. What I remember about Musetti is 2021, roundabout, Guatemala. So, you're talking about, January, February, March time. There was big talk about Musetti and Alcaraz about, being the future of tennis. And, I was getting excited, didn't know too much about both guys at the time. And you're thinking, right, cool, right, here are the up and coming, here are the next gen. So I kind of put it down to, as a lot of other people do, it's Musetti. He's 2 sets to love up against Djokovic. I think that was last year. And yeah, it was last year. And then since then, it seems to just, it seems to have struggled. I think that was a 2021, sorry, apologies. And so, yeah, since he was 2 sets, and the way he finished that match, his body, it was failing. He couldn't compete with the older man. And I think that really kind of knocked him for a while. But I think he's a solid ATP player. I don't know if he'll reach the heights as, when he was talked about in his early days. He's one of these ones that I was actually going to write about for a website recently. He's a curious case of Musetti, because early doors he was talked about as a future Grand Slam winner. I'm not too sure he's got that, but he's still a very, very young guy. These players, I know we all expect a lot from these players as younger men, particularly because of the stuff that Alcaraz has done recently. But I don't think he's going to win it this week, this fortnight. But yeah, I think there's players that are I think he's a good clay court player. Don't get me wrong. But I think there's players that are just a little bit ahead of him right now. I think I'm not writing him off. I'm not writing his career off. I'm not putting the death nails in his coffin of his career early doors when he's still a very, very young man. And I think we do fall into the trap of, expecting too much from these young guys, particularly because of, what the greats like Nadal did as a young man, Federer, Djokovic, Alcaraz now. I think we expect these players, and you've got to remember, in the 90s, the noughties, the 80s, a lot of these players, I know we had like Becker, etc., and the younger guys, but a lot of these players didn't really come, good and make their peak until, 20s, mid-20s, and that might be the case for Musetti. It's just what I've found from, and this is a very long-winded answer, I understand, I love to talk tennis. I think he's up and down, he's hot and cold. I think he's been overshadowed, of course, by Alcaraz, and I'm talking about that 2021 moment and like the early stages of that year. We were all coming back from the COVID break, and we were getting talked about 2 youngsters who were going to be the next gen. And I think because of what Alcaraz has done, it's put more pressure on Musetti. I think he's a very talented boy. I just think there's a few players ahead of him right now. As the game is 2-2, by the way, Rublev did break back, so fair play to Andrey Rublev. He teetered on that in the second game of the set, and he's now actually done it. And So yeah. Do you know, you're talking about Jack Ghost. We're going to play next power ratings at the next changeover. So we'll come back to this chat. But Ghost has just said, I'll maybe grab it now. Ghost has talked about rating Fields and Jack Draper higher than Musetti long term. That's kind of similar to my thinking. I've spoke about Fields earlier on. Jack Draper, I was hoping, I know he's had injuries this year, but Jack Draper, I was going to write at the start of the year, 5 players to watch for this year, for 2023. And Jack Draper was in those 5 because I just thought he was very exciting. He looked like he'd matured, and he has the power, the build of an ATP tennis player. I thought there was going to be, and I still do think there could be, big things for Jack. It breaks my heart that Andy Murray will no longer be, the idol of centre court in Wimbledon. But I like Jack. I think he looks like a decent replacement, or a decent guy to take that banner, that torch off Andy Murray. And be the kind of light in British tennis. It's been for British tennis, with Andy pulling out, the ladies not qualifying, Dan Evans going out. I think we've got Norrie first on tomorrow morning. British tennis is in a bit of a kind of transition right now. I think Dan Evans talked about it recently in terms of Raducanu winning the US Open in 21, kind of papered over the cracks of British tennis right now. And, he's probably not wrong. I think, the hype and the hysteria over the Raducanu shock maybe had the LTA bosses, sitting back and thinking, we don't need to, invest as much and concentrate on the youngsters as much, and it's just not true. And so, yeah, you've got to say, sometimes Norrie, up here in Scotland, we've obviously got our own kind of news, our news outlets, and yeah. Do you know what? You can go for it now, John, and we can come back to this. Go for the next power ratings. Of course, Iga Swiatek, big favourite, 2-time winner here at the French Open, and she's number 1 in Nick's power ratings. Of course, Sabalenka winning through in a match that I think there's a bit of fallout about handshakes. Ons Jabeur, I don't know if that's out to the guys. Apologies, I've got a dog barking in the background. But he'll hopefully that's Teddy that I spoke about in the last stream. But Ons Jabeur, she's had she's been struggling. She's had struggles this year, but I'm not really going to question Nick. Nick's a man in the know. He knows his stuff, and he'll have his reasons. But for me, a tough opening tie for Ons. Funnily enough, I don't know who she's playing right now, but I remember her going that'll be a tough start for Ons Jabeur. So, I think it's been a tough kind of year for her so far. It's been a tough kind of 12 months really since Wimbledon for Ons, and he'll have his reasons, Nick. I mean, I don't agree with him, but he'll certainly have his reasons. He's very much a man with far more knowledge than I, and I'd be a silly man to question Nick's power ratings. As Rublev had held serve at 3-2, and now we're on the Djere serve, and it's 15-30. He's on a second serve here as well, Laslo Djere. And let's see where we go from here. A backhand return by Rublev is deep. He gets Djere returning on the hop as Rublev goes cross-court with a backhand. Another backhand by Djere. Backhand to backhand here. Cross-court to cross-court. Rublev tries to go down the line with a backhand and doesn't find the in-court. It was a big point there. 30 all we are now. He could have set up 2 break points. And the Rublev frustration continues as we look at some of the scores. Shevchenko now serving for the first set against Oscar Otte. Manarino and Humbert has just started. Kazoo putting a wee bit more fight in the third set against Muti, who is serving with serve there, and we're with serve here in the Djere Rublev match with 30 all at the moment. The rallies, they're slogs now. The rallies are getting a lot more fierce, a lot longer as the players try to feel each other out and tire the other one out. He wrong foots Djere up the line with a backhand, wrong foots Rublev a bit, but Rublev managed to get back into it. Cross court forehand, good length on it. It's not out. Rublev reads it down the line, forehand. Oh, what a shot by Laslo Djere, much to the crowd's delight. He tried to go down the line, Djere. Rublev managed to read it, get it back into court, and just with the pickup, a lovely, delicate touch of a pickup, half volley effectively, and it just drips over the net, lands dead, and Rublev can't get it. And again, he's screaming at his box as the Russian. He knows how important this game would be as the momentum swings his way a little bit again. As Arnaldi won today, he's quite exciting as well. And fair play. You know, it's not easy to win a main draw tie in a Grand Slam, and you've got to have something about you to do so. As a slice by Djere, and another slice by Djere. He's introducing this backhand slice a lot more now. Changes it up a bit this time with a cross court, and it works as Rublev finds the tracks, and it's still with serve now, 3-all. And fair play to Laslo Djere as we're with serve. Very key, you feel. And it's not an obvious thing to say, guys. I know you're going to accuse me of such, but you know, I feel that this third set here is key to the destination of where the winner goes in this match. But we could well be sitting here with a 5-setter as well. So, you know, it's as predicted. I thought this one would be quite the intriguing one, as Oscar Otte has levelled up according to Ghost against Shevchenko. And let's see what the scores are. Just to go back to the football briefly, as Rublev serves into the court. Laslo Djere finds the net with a slice. He's definitely bringing in the slice a little bit more today. We're in the 90th minute of Everton versus Bournemouth. It's full time at Leicester. It's full time at Leeds. Leeds are down. Leeds United relegated. Leicester about to go the same way. We're playing 10 extra minutes in the Everton Bournemouth game. I don't know what's happened there. If somebody, a football fan here might know, but we're still going. But Everton, if Bournemouth score, it's curtains, I believe, for Everton. Is it? No, it won't be. I think it's down. I think Everton have survived, just by the look at. So fair play to Everton. Everton stay in the Premier League. For any football fans out there, of course, a big day, the last day of the football season in England, and it looks like Everton have survived. Well played. There'll be celebrations on Merseyside this evening. The Evertonians, remember, never ever been relegated. What a match in Liverpool Southampton, 4-all. I'm just having a quick look at the scores. Liverpool were 2-0 up, then Southampton were 4-2 up, and then 2 goals in a minute with Gakpo and Jota. 4-all. You sometimes get those strange results in the last game. I remember Man United West Brom was 5-all, wasn't it? In Alex Ferguson's last game. Of course, a man born not far away from me here in Glasgow. as we get some shots of the French Open. Laslo Djere and Andrey Rublev. It's 3-4 with serve in the third set. 1 set all. Very tight match. Some pretty brutal tennis here in terms of the slogfest that we have. And let's get back to the action. Enough from the football. Let's get back to the tennis. And we're having a wee chat there, Chelsea. What did Chelsea win? I know it was 1-1 at one point, and I'm assuming that Kieran Trippier has maybe scored their own goal or something. I don't know. Okay, so where are we with this tennis match then? Let's just have a little check on things around the ground. Let me just double check. Anything happening on Twitter? Nothing happening so far. Not too busy. And who else is in action at the moment? Any other action? There's a guy on Twitter saying that Casper Ruud is struggling, but I don't know if it's just a guy who's a hater of Casper Ruud. So where are we with? Okay. No. Okay. Sorry, back to the tennis, guys. I'm just trying to have a quick look at a few things. Right, so it's 40 love 40. Rublev's got 3 break points. He just broke to love. He turns around to his box this time, not to scream in anger, but to scream in joy. And he is now going to be serving for the third set. So it was an own goal by Kieran Trippier. All right, Ghost, good man. So we are at 5-3 to Andrey Rublev here in Paris. The first round of the men's singles on the first day. The match seems to be an hour and a half long. It's about an hour and a half long so far. We're on the 90-minute mark of the match as Rublev serves for the third set. And Djere finds the net. The momentum certainly shifted again. So it was Rublev, by all accounts, 6-1 in the first set. Then midway through the second set, despite being a breakup under Rublev, Djere seemed to, switch on another gear. And it seemed to be going the way of Laslo Djere, and he won the second set. It was a breakup in this third set. He was 3-1 up, but Rublev has wheeled off 4 games in a row. And he is now 30 love up, 5-3, and he is 2 points away from the third set. And so he's now got 3 set points. Has a good, strong first serve. Can only find Djere going long, and Djere's looking at a bit of a dejected figure right now. As Rublev, another first serve, a tap over the net. Great way to take the third set. Djere got the return then. Andrey Rublev just leaned back, tapped a half volley over the net, much like the Djere one earlier on, and he takes the third set 6-3 after 38 minutes. And we'll be back in just 1 minute.
Coming to you every evening, night, day, depending on where you are in the world, will be The Last Ball Drops. This will be a show on talking tennis as soon as that ball drops on the last match of the day, morning, afternoon, evening, or night at Roland Garros, probably on Philippe Chatrier. We will go live with a review of the day's play. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way, as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification, you can come and join us, and you'll get to hear the thoughts of
people such as Mario, Damien, Jack, Nick, many more, maybe even me from time to time. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon.
Yeah, the first one I believe will be tonight. So make sure you guys get on that. Just a roundup of the day's action, and a great way to make sure that you, even if you miss, say you're working and you've managed to miss all the action, and you've not been able to catch a glimpse of the winners and losers. John and Co. And I'll be on a few over the next 2 weeks. We'll be able to wrap up exactly what has happened in the day. So let's just see what we're chatting about. I've missed out. I've been checking a few things. I believe Ghost is getting some praise about his jokes. Well done, Ghost, I suppose. So yeah, we are into the fourth set. Laslo Djere serving 2-1 down in sets. The court has been swept. And you feel the way that Rublev's playing now, he's got his eye in, he's got his depth in, and he wins the first point with a winner of the Djere Djere service game. And you feel it should be, and this will be famous last words again, but you feel it could be. Well, you were praising Sean, okay. So my bad. See, that shows, I should be paying more attention to you guys. You guys are where the actions are. So well done, Sean. I believe your jokes are good. Yeah. Anyone else got a good joke? Something that I can say on here without getting us pulled off air would be nice. As we go 15 all, second serve, Laslo Djere. So where are you, Max? I'm not aware. I'm sure many may know. It sounded to me, 2 a.m. What's that? 10 a.m. So that's 8 hours behind France. Is that right? No, that'll be maybe 9 hours behind France. So I'm assuming, are you in Oz at all? I don't know. I don't know where you are, Max, but tell us where you are. I'm not sure where you are as Laslo Djere. 30-15. Muttering something as Rublev, and as always, very vocal on court. Djere, you've not really heard much out of him. Okay, in dangerous territory here. I don't know. What's the difference between Mick Jagger and a Scotsman? And keep it clean. It's all right. Thomas is with the birth name. Don't you worry. Not a fan of it, but you can call me Max. If I was to call you Maxine, is that the similar to Thomas? Yeah, that's very good. Do you want me to? I'll show that. That's showable. So for anyone who didn't catch that from Ghost, what's the difference between Mick Jagger and a Scotsman? And I'll say it in my Scottish accent, will I? I'll say Mick says, "Hey you, get off of my cloud," and a Scotsman says, "Hey McLeod, get off of my you." That's showable. I think we can just get away with that. How does Lady Gaga like her steak? I know the other Lady Gaga one. But I told you I don't know music, but I only know the one Poker Face. How do you wake up Lady Gaga? Poker Face. Only know that one. So what is it? What's the answer, Jane? I'll probably be the only one in here that doesn't know that one because, like I say, I'm not big into my Lady Gaga music, so I don't know what her songs are. I'm sitting here waiting. I'm genuinely more interested in this than in the tennis right now. Right. Raw, 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 raw. Aye, that's a Lady Gaga song, right? I know that one. I just don't know what the name of that one is. As Djere, I love this. I love this talking tennis. as Djere goes 1 love up. Rublev looking a little bit bemused as to how he maybe didn't come through that one. I believe he had at least one break point in that one. I was too busy trying to get my Lady Gaga jokes. So, yeah. Max, you still haven't told us about... Oh, you're the west coast of the US. Okay. This time last year, I was on a reporting tour to 3 states in the US. I started off in DC. Well, I know DC is not effectively a state, is it? But I was in DC. I was in the White House press room, and then I went to Minneapolis. Did I go? Yeah. And I went to then Phoenix, Arizona. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, which was hot, and I was hungover because I met an American guy in the airport from Minnesota to Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm trying to write back to somebody's. Yes, it was. Yeah, so I managed to make it. There was a reporting tour by what we call the NCTJ, and as part of the reporting tour, we got to go to the White House press room, and managed to sit in one of the press briefings, which was pretty surreal. Walking within the grounds of the White House. I'll maybe next time I'll try and pull out the video of me basically walking in through the back gates through, and then basically into the press room, and it was really good. And then we went on to Minneapolis in Minnesota, which I absolutely loved Minneapolis. I really did. It was really good. And then we were in Minneapolis for a couple of reasons, and then we went to Phoenix, Arizona, which, as I say, on the way from Minnesota to Phoenix, Arizona, I met a guy in the airport bar. The guy started buying me tequilas, so I started smashing the tequilas with this guy, and then obviously then we got the flight to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and then basically the next day I was just the most hungover man ever. And for somebody who's not used to a peely wally, as we say in Scotland, a pasty white Scotsman in that Phoenix, Arizona June heat, hungover, having to sit in talks and reporting talks, was not the best Monday, I've got to say. That was a struggle. And I basically had to say to the person who was taking the tour that I was unwell, wasn't feeling well, but she basically called me on it. It was like, did you party too hard yesterday, Tom? I was like, yeah, a little bit. But I was there for 10 days. Been to Vegas as well many moons ago. I think I got it for my 30th. So I was in 2015. We stayed in the Bellagio for 5 days, and did the helicopter tour into the Grand Canyon, which was great as well. Had a champagne breakfast in the middle of the Grand Canyon. So yeah, absolutely loved it. Yes, pretty much. If you'd seen me in Vegas for those 5 days, what's it called, Max? What are the place where they do the alcohol in the big long ice cups? It's like something Mondays or something like that, or Blue Mondays. No, not Blue Mondays. What am I talking about? You're going to correct me here, but something Tuesdays or something. It's like a place, and they do big cups of alcohol, like big yard scoops of alcohol, but they're like slushy, iced, like daiquiris kind of thing. So me and my partner were walking about the strip, just getting drunk. But yeah, I will go back to the tennis. But yeah, well done, Max. Right, okay, so I'll remember that for next time you're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, another Scotsman, a guy called Martin Compston, who is quite a famous actor here, certainly in the UK. He lives out in Vegas. I'm trying to think what you might know him from. But yeah, Martin Compston, Scotsman, guy from Glasgow. As it goes with serve in the tennis, I think we're looking at a quick glimpse of Musetti and Emer, and Musetti, I think, has he been broken with serve? Oh no, he hasn't. No, it's just going with serve. They're just showing us a quick glimpse of that. But we are with serve in set 4 of the one that we are featuring. And of course, we have Danielle Collins and Jessica Pegula coming up after this one. And Andrey Rublev will have the ball in his hand. And yeah, Djere managing to keep on the coattails of Andrey Rublev by taking his first 2 service games in set 4. Succus. Max will correct me. I went to the Cirque du Soleil, which was in the Bellagio. Planet Hollywood. What else did I go? Planet Hollywood's the one with the Eiffel Tower and stuff outside, I'm sure. What's it called? McCarran? Is that Max? Again, I could be getting this all wrong. Is that McCarran Airport? And you've still not told me what it's called, like something Tuesdays or Blue Mondays or something like that. It's like a wee outlet shop that sells like slushies, but they fill them with alcohol. So yeah. My reporting, Ghost, are you asking my reporting? What, like for my day job or my day job? I don't cover tennis. I just cover the news in a place called Clydebank, which is the west of Glasgow. And so yeah, I work for a local newspaper at the moment, and the goal is to obviously get into mainstream, or maybe not mainstream, but just more tennis journalism as a career, because I do love this sport. As Andrey Rublev looks to the heavens a little bit, he tries to hit a drop shot and it clips the very top of the net. And we're at 15:30. Again, this could be another spanner in the works here. For all you Rublev fans who thought he would basically see out this one fairly comfortably, as Rublev goes down the tee. Djere was going wide, but Djere managed to get it anyway, and he hits a forehand to the out court. Rublev catches it. Rublev now with dictating the point here. He's in control of the point here, but Djere flips it a little bit. Good, strong backhand up the line. Rublev claiming it was out. He's made a mark. I think the umpire's coming down to have a look at it. And yeah, it was long. I don't know if Djere will be happy with this, but it was long. So what your area of speciality is sport? I do news. My day job is just news reporting, just public interest, shall I say, for the people of West Dunbartonshire or Clydebank and Dumbarton. Clydebank, you might have heard of Clydebank in Scotland. It was very industry heavy back in the day, as we say. It was full of Singer sewing machines. Very big export. It had a lot of shipyards because it's right on the bank of the River Clyde. So there was a big shipbuilding industry in Clydebank. And also Clydebank was famously, the Clydebank Blitz was in 1941 during World War II, was attacked and hundreds of people lost their lives because the Germans basically attacked or were going for Clydebank because of the industry, the shipbuilding industry. That was there, and so in the March the 14th and 15th, 1941. So that's a couple of things that Clydebank you might have known Clydebank for, as we sit just on the Rublev serve, 1-2 in the fourth set. Backhand by Djere. Backhand up the line by Djere, this time caught by Rublev. He goes, good shot, forehand, catches the line by Djere. He's now dictating the point, and he hits the top of the net. And the first bit of real emotion that he now looks to his box. Most cities in the UK that are on the banks of water, you'll find they pretty much, Glasgow has Govan, or had Govan, and Scotstoun now. And in any city you would find that they'll have, because shipbuilding was much needed back in the day. Glasgow Govan still has quite a decent shipbuilding. They build a lot of the UK government's for the Navy, they build quite a lot of ships for the Navy. So yeah, quite again, I love it where we can go in these chats and talking tennis. You don't just join for the tennis, you join for the community, of course. And make sure, if you have just joined us, you are hitting the subscribe button and giving us a follow. Much more content to come over the weeks, months, and hopefully years to come in the Talking Tennis community. Very early days, so yeah, get involved. So where are we? Djere didn't manage to break in that service game. Rublev held serve, but at 2-2. Djere looking a little bit frustrated now. He's playing some decent tennis, but Rublev just has that extra level when it matters. And he sees out point 1 with a smash right at the net. That wasn't going to go anywhere else other than into the red ash. It's love 15. Oh, sorry, no, it's 15-all. And this would be a very, very important time. It might finally just knock the fight out of Laslo Djere if Rublev can somehow conjure up a breaker serve here as he breaks. And yeah, we are at 30-15. Good serve by Laslo Djere. Strong serving there from the Serbian. I believe he's the Serbian number 4. Let me tell you that. He's the Serbian number 4. 5 in the top 100. And this is his 6th straight Roland Garros main draw appearance, and his 7th in the last 8 years. Will he be seeing it past day 1 though? Looking doubtful. His best results was the 3rd round in 2019 and 2021. He lost to Nishikori in 19 and to Zverev in 2021. And there's actually 6 Serbians in the main draw. Of course, Djokovic, you've got Lazovic. So yeah, some good players with Serbian blood running through their veins. And of course, I was reading actually a piece about Laslo Djere just the other day. He used to train in empty warehouses in Belgrade. So yeah, they must have been cold. I tell you that in the Serbian winters. As we continue, there's something bugging Djere. I think there might have been movement in the crowd as we're at 30-40 break point. And this would be, a good first serve though, wide, but a block return by Rublev. This time he does. It's not up, is it? It's not up. So just to give you a brief description of what happened there. Djere's complaining about somebody behind Rublev moving about when he's about to serve, but he served a wide serve. Rublev block returned it back into court. Now, Djere, if you remember, basically he tapped one over the net just at the end of that second set that Rublev got to it. He tried it again, and Rublev this time didn't get to it. It wasn't up. And Djere then complained to the umpire that somebody is moving, I think, in his eye line as he serves. First of all, a couple of things. Max, absolutely no need to apologise. Please do not apologise. As I say, we're here to talk tennis as the base of our discussions. But, these discussions are here to create a community of people who love tennis but want to, interact and chat about their life and their home. And I'm, chatting about Nevada. So absolutely do not apologise for taking the topic off tennis. Sometimes even, there's plenty to talk about. And second of all, Ghost, listen, appreciate the tip. Thanks so much for the great tip there, Ghost. It's very much appreciated. And this wouldn't be anything without you guys contributing. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dogs about talking tennis, and we'll grow this talking tennis community as the players exchange cross-court backhands. But Djere goes into the net. Rublev breaks. That's a big one. we're in the fourth set. Djere looking a little bit, dejected, as I said earlier on. The wind is slightly out his sails now. The fight seems to be draining from the Serbian, and he could be an early exit, day one exit. And Rublev knows he's been in a fight, and not to kind of blow my own trumpet, but I did say Rublev in 4 at the start of the match, and I said Rublev semi-final. So can we clip that, John? Can we clip? I said Rublev 4 sets. You can play that back in your wrap-up show tonight. Remember, guys, the last ball gets straight onto the Talking Tennis stream. I'll certainly be watching tonight, just catch up with the day's action, where John and Cole will be rounding up the talking points, the controversies, the shocks, the solid performances. Has the day's events changed where they think the trophy will be going, both on the men's and the women's side? And of course we've got Daniel Collins, and we have Jessica Pegula up next. Interesting match, that one. Pegula will be the strong favourite, but in these slams, anything can happen. But Pegula will be hoping to have a fairly comfortable match. But you never know what you're going to get with Danielle Collins. She's went deep in slams recently. Right, I love this question by Max. So I knew, obviously, coming on to the Roland Garros fortnight, I was hoping to be contributing, and so I had a long think about it, and it was. I think for me, I'm going to shock some people, but that I genuinely did believe this before today's question, today's stream. For me, Medvedev, I have winning. I just think he's got the game right now. He's got the form. He's turned. Is certainly his year after the Australian Open. It was a fairly early exit, and you thought, is Daniil Medvedev going to just become one of these nearly men because of the way that Alcaraz and that Rune were coming through. The way he's turned that around and totally proved me wrong over the last 4 months. He's went deep in most tournaments. He's won a lot of events, and I just looked at him, watching him, and the way that he kind of dispatched of the Holger Rune threat last week, was just so mature, and I think he's totally found his feet on the clay, and so for me, he's my favourite, and you can clip that one up. Daniil Medvedev, I do believe can win Roland Garros, and for me, he is my favourite, and that might shock a few. I just the Alcaraz defeat in Rome with similar conditions to Paris. It's just, I know that John, I think he still believes in the Carlos Alcaraz bandwagon, shall we say? And we had a discussion about would Alcaraz have lost that match against is it Murishan? You say his name? Is that how you say it? Would he have lost that match if it was a 5-setter? Probably not. And I just loved the Medvedev response last week when asked, does he love the clay? No. Hard court is his only love, but he certainly likes the clay now. Ask him in 2 Sundays' time, and I've got a feeling we will have a different sentiment from the Russian. No, I think he's just in the form of his life right now. He's not having as many kind of on-court dilemmas, and he's just he just can stay. He can stay in the rallies. He's got the court coverage, and he's worked out. He's an intelligent player. So I think it'll be very intriguing. But yeah, I do fancy Daniil Medvedev for the title. 4-2 in the Rublev compatriot. Andrey Rublev versus Laslo Djere here. 30-love Djere. Fair play to the Serbian. He has come out after losing serve, looking pretty solid in this service game. Tries to go down the tee with a first serve. See you later, Sean. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, we will see you tomorrow. It's shaping up to be, even without the sad withdrawal of Rafa Nadal, I think we're still going to have a fine 2 weeks on both the ATP and the WTA sides of the draw. Intriguing matchups. We've got Swiatek and Sabalenka, but there's so many more on the ladies' side. We've got, Alcaraz. How will he cope? Zverev likes it here. Medvedev, form of his life. You've, of course, you can't write off Novak Djokovic. Decent draw. So it's as intriguing as always. These slams always are. Some could argue that without, the dominance of the Big Four era, these slams are now becoming a lot more intriguing because you just don't know where you can throw your hat on a bunch of players in the draw, and you'd be hitting the winner. As Djere hits a winner down the line, well played, Laslo Djere, to close the gap to 3-4 in the fourth set. The momentum and advantage still with Andrey Rublev, and we'll just take a quick break before we come to potentially the home stretch. But if you've just joined us, this is what is on the end of every day when the last ball is hit at Roland Garros.
Coming to you every evening, night, day, depending on where you are in the world, will be the last ball drops. This will be a show on talking tennis as soon as that ball drops on the last match of the day, morning, afternoon, evening, or night at Roland Garros, probably on Philippe Chatrier. We will go live with a review of the day's play. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way, as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification, you can come and join us, and you'll get to hear the thoughts of people such as Mario, Damien, Jack, Nick, many more, maybe even me from time to time. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon.
Yeah, and so a little update. Musetti has finished his match against Michael Eimer, and a couple of good talking points in the chat right now. So I'm going to take them as they came in. First of all, Max over in Nevada. Must be very early in the morning. Well, no, actually, sorry. No, it must be afternoon. No, morning. Still about 11 o'clock for you, Max. So she'll be having her coffee and our cereal right now. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, Holger Rune. I thought that he was going to beat Djokovic in Rome beforehand. But you've got to remember now, again, I know that Novak's had his issues with the elbow, but Novak has made no secret that everything is put and is towards the Grand Slams. He all his fitness, all his focus is so that he can peak at the Grand Slams. Now I know, he probably would have wanted. Well, not probably, but he would have wanted to go deeper in Rome. He would have wanted to go deeper in Monte Carlo, I think it was. But he obviously missed Madrid. But yeah, everything is so that he can peak at Grand Slams. I mean, you've got to remember that he's done it 22 times in his career. He's fully focused on being the greatest Grand Slam champion of all time. So you can't say it'll be a different matchup if they two meet up. I've got to say, I think personally, and something. Novak's also the kind of guy who will go away. He'll rewatch that match and he will look for the weaknesses in the Holger Rune game, and he'll work it out. And it's over a longer period of time as well. That's another thing as well. 2 bad sets don't equal a loss at Roland Garros. You've got the insurance of a 5-setter. So I do think. I do think that it'll be a different ball game. In terms of the next one, spoke about this the other day. Let me just find something very quickly. Right. So This one, next one, I get it. You know, it's a big three. Okay, there is no doubt about it. Murray's won 3 Grand Slams. The others are at least 20. So I get it. However, at his peak in like 2015, 2016, and I go back to the Madrid final against Nadal, I think Murray would say that's probably his best ever performance. He absolutely took him out, took him apart. Not many players have done that against Nadal on clay. And so I think there was a point where it was a big four, where the 4 of them were getting to every semi-final of the Grand Slams. They were winning every tournament. But I agree. I think, you know, since about 2017, the other 3, they've stayed with it. Murray's had these much publicised problems with the metal hip, etc. And he more than likely, I don't like to write the great man off, but he more than likely won't ever reach the latter stages of a Grand Slam again. But at one point, the gap wasn't maybe not as many slams, but this guy could compete and regularly beat the top 3. And you know what? He's from a wee town in Scotland, so I'm holding on to the big 4. But I do get your sentiment, Ghost. So why don't we just agree to disagree on that one? But I see your point, and that's why. But yeah, I agree, Max. Dang it, injuries, and I think, you know, you saw the emotion and Murray from that documentary. I don't know if you guys have watched it on Prime, and so yeah, what a guy! Even for coming back and still playing with a metal hip in him, and yeah. Well, he's got to talk about Wimbledon as if he can win it, because he's won it twice before, and you know, like, you know, when asked about it, he wouldn't be the competitor he is. Just to update you on the tennis, very quickly, Rublev has a match point out of nowhere. It's 5-3 to Rublev, 30-40 on the Djere serve. I would be remiss to ignore that, considering we're here for the match. So we will focus on this for a second, just before we go to the close. So second serve now on Djere. You can see Rublev has stepped up right to the baseline. It's a slower set, or Rublev went for it. He went for it. I think a rush of blood to the head, as they say. Tried to go for the over extravagant, shall we say, winner down the line, miscued it, got it all wrong. The ball didn't even make the court. So we're at juice here as another first serve found. Djere will be relieved. He's already seen off 1 match point. You know, Ghost, I agree. I think Murray is one of the reasons why my love for tennis went from just watching Wimbledon every year to watching as much as I could. So I will always credit him with him, you know, installing that love of this game. But yeah, I think Andy Murray will always be in my heart. But it's I just don't think. I mean, I think he's 37 now. Somebody can correct me, and I know age, but it's just, for me, Andy, it seems like the toll of his career, because he went to those lengths to try and stay with the big 3, and I think the toll of tennis is taking its toll now, and you know, he's paying the price for it, and I think he will end up going. I think I was actually talking this to my mum, who loves Andy as well, and I don't. I'll come back to Ghost's question in a second, as we still say, but just great winner by Djere to keep this game alive, to go advantage down the line in the corner. But I wanted to say, and I'll come to you, Ghost's question about team and Andy Murray. Say Andy Murray was to announce that 2024 would be his last year, right? Do you think he would do that? Because he's quite pally with Nadal. Nadal's already said that it's likely to be his last year. Would Murray doing that be taking away the farewell rodeo away from Nadal a bit? Or would he not care and say, listen, my time's up as well, and he would maybe go down the same route? I think it's an interesting one. I think, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if Andy will depend. I think it depends on Wimbledon. I think Andy's already said that as long as he still thinks he can compete with these guys, he will still be a tennis player. But I think a lot of the early defeats recently, particularly, have hurt. And I think if he keeps losing early, he'll basically say, I can't compete anymore. And he'll go and enjoy his kids. He'll go and enjoy, being the family guy. So, yeah, but good question by Ghost. I will pop it up here. Better chance regaining form for me, Dominic Thiem. I've seen flashes in some of his games. He's got time on his side as well, compared to Andy. And so for me, I still think there's a career where Dominic Thiem wins big tournaments. And as I say, there is flashes somewhere in there. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of the wrists. And I know he relies heavily on that big backhand. But I think no, I don't know if they are. So yeah, for me, Dominic Thiem, but you guys can disagree. To answer this one, Ghost, yes, he is. Easy won that one. Certainly up in Scotland, a lot of people in the Scottish media up here, in terms of any sportsman, we consider Andy Murray to be, our greatest ever athlete, one of the greatest ever athletes, and of course he's Sir Andy Murray around these isles. And no, I don't think retirements are scheduled like that. I just don't, and I don't think Andy Murray's the kind of guy who would do, like a road show, a farewell road show. I know that Rafa Nadal's done it like that, and I don't think that's a great idea. I think I saw Mats Wilander talk about, or maybe it was Tim Henman talk about players of the past. Jim Courier, I think, did it. Stefan Edberg did it, and they put more pressure on them because they knew that was the last time they were playing at certain events, and it seemed to put more pressure on them, and they maybe didn't get the finish that they wanted. And I think both have since said they regretted doing it that way. Nadal's already said 2024 is going to be his last year, and I think there'll be a bit of an emotional roadshow for that, no matter where he goes. It's the last time. Just for instance, Indian Wells, emotion. Miami, emotion. Madrid, emotion. Barcelona, emotion. Monte Carlo, emotion. Like every tournament's going to be emotional. And it just got me thinking. How will Andy do it? Will he do it like just a lot quieter? I think it was it 2018 at the Australian Open where we had this big hoo-ha about retirement with Andy, and he'd never really actually said that he was going to retire, or was it basically that pushed him to basically keep going? I think he had said. So yeah, very interesting the way that players retire right now, especially when you're in this big three, big four. When you've been one of the greats of the game, it's how you say goodbye. I know a lot of Federer fans, I think it was Federer's closing at Wimbledon, I think was a bagel. I think that's a big regret of a lot of Federer fans, but it was just, just the body said no more. And that's the way it is for a lot of these people. And I don't know if Nadal maybe one day say he regrets, announcing it like the way he did. I think if he'd played here and won it, yeah, I agree. I didn't like it. Now thinking back to that Australian Open farewell video, I just think, cringe is a great word for it. Just it's a bit squeamish, isn't it? Just like, a lot of emotion. I think he was 2 sets to love down against Batista, came back and then lost the fifth. Am I right? I think thinking back to that, it just seems a bit like, I think he did credit and said that emotion, that love that he got from the Australian crowd and the players, his peers, pushed him to go and get that second operation. So yeah, I agree, Ghost. As we come close to the finish line of this one. 40 love as Djere goes into the net after a kick serve by Rublev. I think that's a good serve that Rublev's now added to his game. Certainly, picked it up a little bit as he's got 3 match points. He takes a deep breath, couple of extra bounces for Andrey Rublev. Good for Serb. He comes in the net, drive volley to finish it off. And Andrey Rublev has seen this out in 4. Nice little prediction from me. I'm going to call that as a good start to the Australian Open for myself. But Andrey Rublev, a disappointed Laslo Djere had his chances. He was a break-up in the third, but Andrey Rublev shows his quality, and he's on his way to the final for some people and ITs. But he says thank you to the crowd. And so Rublev in 4, it was 6-1, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. And Rublev is on to the next round where he will face, is it Muti? Has it been finished? No, they're still playing actually. Oh, there you go. Arthur Kazoo has won the third set, 6-4. So it might not be Muti. It'll be a Frenchman, no matter what, for Rublev. So he will have the crowd against him. Clearly, I don't know if anyone watched the Karen Hatchinoff match earlier on against Lichtenstein. I think that's who he was. Yeah, Lichtenstein. Yeah, Constant Lichtenstein. Yeah, sorry, just pulling that up in front of me. And the crowd, as always, the French crowd, very vocal, get behind the hometown players. Guys, thanks very much. We'll take a quick break. I'll go and grab a quick munch, and it'll be myself in the chair, along with a co-commentator. I think Jacob, is it? Jacob. Thanks very much. Rublev speaking now, and I'll just end this broadcast here. But thanks very much, Ghost, and always Max, Jane, Sean. Thanks very much, guys. You made it fun. All right. Cheers.